Infos. My name is Cait and this is my channel, Chapter Cait. And today I'm going to be decorating my little library tree, but to do so I'm going to show you how to make a couple of different bookish ornaments. Christmas is my absolute favorite time of year, so I go all out during Christmas time. I decorate everywhere. I just love it. So hopefully you'll love these ornaments just as much as I do. So the first ornament is going to be using these little wooden Christmas trees. You can pretty much use any wooden shape you want for this. I'm just using Christmas trees because I thought they were cute. And the backs were all wood looking too, like more natural wood looking. And then you're going to need some book pages. I got these out of a book that was pretty much ruined that I had that you can't really read and I can't, give to anyone. I can't resell it. It got ruined, so I use pages out of it sometimes for craft projects. I don't recommend just wasting a book to waste a book. You can also just print off like generic book page like images and just print something off that way. Or you could even just type a bunch of random stuff and print that page. If you want it to be more yellowed rather than like a stark white of the typical printer paper, you can also just, after you've printed it, put it in a pan with some tea or coffee grounds in it and let it soak for a little bit, and then it'll have that nice older kind of look to it. Okay, so first off, we're just going to do one at a time. I'm going to untie this so it's out of our way. It's just like a little hemp string. We're going to untie it so it's out of the way for now, and we can always retie it later. And there's all kinds of dust and stuff everywhere, so we got that. And then we have one book page at a time. What I'm going to do is just put the book page face down, put the tree on top of this, and I'm just going to trace. I think when I do it more diagonal, the reason I like to do things diagonally is because if you're like me, you're kind of a perfectionist, and if I do things purposefully askew, it doesn't bother me as much. So that's how we're going to do this. It doesn't have to be very neat or anything because we're cutting it out. So. It's very messy, and that's okay. You can barely see it on the camera anyway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut, if you can see this, we're going to cut just inside the lines that we drew. Just inside it because we want it to be just slightly smaller than the surface area. So that's what we're going to do. And this does not have to be perfect, because we're making, kind of a rustic look, so it does not have to be perfect whatsoever. Okay, now that we cut this out, made it slightly smaller than the lines, it should fit on top of this nicely. There's a little hole right here from where the string was, so I'm just going to take my colored pencil again and just stab. Now I gotta glue it. Usually I would use Mod Podge for this, but I can't find my Mod Podge anywhere. So we're just gonna use wood glue, because that is what I have. Hopefully, if I can open the thing. That said, if you're doing this and you have Mod Podge, I would suggest after you glued this thing down, put Mod Podge over the top of it just to make it nice and shiny and to kind of make it last longer. But again, I don't have that, so we're using wood glue for now. Which works out because, we're putting it on wood anyway, right? So, this wood glue sucks. Okay, and I always use my fingers when I do glue. I probably shouldn't, but I do, because it's who I am as a person. Place it on there. Okay, So there we have it, our nice little thing. So like I said at the beginning of this video, you can do this on any kind of wood ornament or just piece of wood or anything, and you can get pieces of wood so many craft stores now, especially this time of year. You can find a lot that are already in prime ornament shape with the little string and everything, which is nice because you don't have to waste any of your own string or anything like that. You can just put it in there. Here we go. Go ahead and tie this up again. From this point, you have a couple of options. You can either just leave it as is and have a nice little simple ornament, or you can put stuff on it. Now, if I want to put stuff on it, I have to decide if I want to put like a specific word, do I want to put my name, do I want to put the year, do I want to write on it, put stickers, what do I want to do? I also have these things. These are like little sticker things with numbers and letters and stuff on them. So I could do something with that. I could put 2020, and these, I think I have the right. Yeah, I could do that, which I think I'm gonna do. This year needs a memorial ornament, I think. Oh boy. Now, just to like let this pop out a little more, I'm going to trace around the 2020. So like you can barely see it, but it was enough to kind of like let it pop a little bit more, which was the whole goal of using this. So. I also painted just the edge of this one just to give it a little pizzazz, a little pop of something. Next, we're just going to straight up make like a mini book. I also have glue all over my fingers, so ignore that. So I got this little tiny thing of, I believe it's cardstock. Yeah, just a little thing of different color cardstocks because I didn't really need much of it. So, ooh, okay, that's nice. This is just like a little pad of cardstock, so I just gotta pick out what color books. It looks like there's a little bit darker versions on one side and lighter on the other. Let's just go with the top color here. Now I can either make this the size of the book, or I can make a smaller, like half version. I'll just make a small one. We're gonna make a small one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna do like a lot of measuring and stuff for this. I'm just gonna kind of go with my gut on some things. So for example, I'm just gonna fold right here to make my little spine. Okay, so here's our little book, I guess, cover. The thing is, I made it really chunky, so gotta deal with that, which is okay. We'll just make a tome. I need to cut off an edge here. Actually, do I care? Cut off the edge. If you make it uneven, you can just trim. Make it better if it bothers you. Now, for the inside, I'm gonna grab a bunch of pages from this ruined book and put them in here. I need like a certain size, so I'm just gonna cut them all down to around the size I need. I might not need all the pages, but it helps. I actually might make this a little bit smaller. We're gonna make it a little bit smaller. Just because it'll be easier to work with. It keeps getting shorter. That's okay. So these scraps I'm actually going to keep for a reason. I'm going to save them for a later project. I think that's enough for one book. Yeah. But we are going to trim just a smidge off the edge. I'm going to put like a strip of glue in the center here where the crease is. And then I'm just gonna stick these sort of along it. I'm also gonna put another fold right here, just because get a little oomph there. Okay. Don't put it on the creases if possible. You just want to put it in the middle. These against it like that. Get nice and gluey. It doesn't matter if they're a little messy because it's an ornament. I might put a few more in here, but then again, I just might glue this down a little bit better. Because it doesn't need to be a functioning book, so like there can be like a whole bunch of glue and it's okay. And there's a little book. I am gonna go ahead and stick a string through it for to hold our hook or hold our ornament up and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a string and just do a loop and tie it like so. And we're gonna cut it. And I'm just gonna throw it in the back here, or like in the thing before it really dries. We're just gonna shove it in there, like that. Now, if you have like a specific book that you'd like to make an ornament of, you can always personalize it. You can print off a picture of the book's cover. You can draw on it, you can do whatever. I'm just gonna write something on here and make that my cover. Since it's this color, I'm just gonna make it priory over the orange tree, so I'm gonna go. Here it is. It's just a cute little book thing. It doesn't have to look super nice or fancy or anything. Again, if you want, you can always spruce it up, make it a little bit nicer. I'm gonna put a little bit of an edge on it, so that way it's just a little bit nicer. Put a kind of a spine, outline the spine that's already on here. Give it a little bit more of a whatever. And if you want to put some embellishments on it, you can do that. But beware, the more you do to it, more likely you mess up like me. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of a vine type thing. Just give it a little flair there. So, there's my book ornament. Yay! You can kind of flip through it a little bit, but yeah. And I also made a Christmas carol in this form. Next, I actually found these little mini books. They're for miniatures, you know, people that like make those. So I found these little mini books that I don't have to make, which is nice, but you can also make them using the method I used in the last video, just making it like neater. And then I got this clear ornament, which you can get really cheap at a lot of places, a lot of craft stores right now. I got this one at Michael's, and there everything was like partially off. It's just a hard plastic, so it's not easily broken or anything, which is nice. And you can just take the little thing out and make it your own. So first of all, these little miniature books. If I can get this out, it'd be helpful. Okay, so these are little teeny tiny books. I think there's one of each of these colors. So I'm just gonna hide these for later. Now, these are small enough to where they'll fit inside the ornament, so I'm just gonna put all 4 of them in there. Okay, so they're just like in the ornament like that. And then I'm going to put, this is some like foam ball things that you can use for like fake snow. Now beware, they are going to get everywhere because of static and all that good stuff. So just know that. So I'm just gonna put some of these in here also. So the easiest way to do this is going to be making a little funnel because it'll run away from me otherwise. So just get you a piece of paper and do that. Make you a little bit of a funnel there. Just make sure there's enough space for them to actually get through. So mine are like sliding all over the place. So I'm just grabbing them as they escape. Well, okay, that should be enough. So I just put some snow in there with my little books. I'm gonna turn that one off momentarily so you can see a little bit better, but yeah, it's just a couple of books in there with some snow. It's cute. And I'm going to put some of these scraps from earlier in there as well. Mostly just the ones that look decent. Cut off the empty space and just like throw them in there like there's some pages, like little ones. Then we're just gonna shove these little pages in here too. And it would be really cute because it'll just be pages and little books and a little snow. Now I think just to spice it up a little bit more, I'm gonna put a little bit of like glitter in here. And I like this white, really sparkly white glitter. I think I'm gonna do that, which is dangerous. So, okay. Now that I got some glitter in there, I'm gonna put my cap back on and I'm gonna give it a good old shake. See, some of that glitter gets into some of that white. This is what it's gonna look like after you're done. It's just gonna have a couple of little books in there, some pages, and I put a lot of glitter, but you don't have to put glitter. But that's how I did it. And then for this, you can either use like Christmas ornament hooks that if you have them. You can use string or even paper clips work really well as little Christmas ornament hooks. So I would also recommend, like, if you put like glitter and stuff in this, to maybe glue this down like with a hot glue gun, because otherwise you're gonna have things popping out all over the place. You can also use tape just around the edge. Okay, now I have another empty ornament. Again, these are pretty cheap. They're made of plastic. They're not, they're kind of shatterproof. They don't really break easily, which is nice. And what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm going to fill it with pieces of book paper. So here's some pages I have. First thing I'm gonna do is take off these blank edges that don't have any words on them. And then I'm gonna cut this paper into strips. Here are some, I'm going to treat them like ribbons, and I'm going to curl them like I would do ribbon curls. So start at the edge, put it against your scissors like this, and it's not quite as effective as the ribbons, but kind of gets them curling. Okay, now I got me some springies. I'm gonna kind of pull them like this. Make them a little bit tighter and a little bit longer. And then I'm just gonna throw them in here. Like so. So I've put all my little swirlies in here, and I'm gonna just add a couple of little, I'm gonna add a couple of the little foam beads in here as well, just to give it a little bit more texture, a little bit of difference in there. Now it's got a little bit of the book pages and a little bit of the snow in there, just to make it a little bit interesting. I might add a couple more pieces of book page, but not swirled like that. I might just take some of these extra from the little mini book I made and just chop them up and put them in there. Super, super easy. Except for getting them in there. Yeah, the hardest part about this is getting the little pieces of paper in there. Put our little top on. Ow. We can remember how our hands work. There we go. Shake it up. And there we have it. Just a simple little ornament. Now my hot glue gun is also ready. So what I'm gonna do is take the last one we did, which is now super frosty looking with all the glitter we put in there. My bad. Just gonna glue around the edges of this little cap so that way it'll stay on and the glitter will not escape and wreak havoc. And I'm also gonna put like a little yarn, a little ribbon bow around this. Let me go grab my ribbon. I actually have this pack of Christmas ribbons and I'm just gonna use these to kind of add some flavor to the ornaments. I don't know how much this was because I've had it for a long time, but you can actually buy individual ribbons for pretty cheap at craft stores. Okay, so for the one with the little books, I'm going to do this red Merry Christmas ribbon right here. So I'm just gonna glue on top of this here and then put my ribbon on it. So I've done that. And then I'm gonna come around to this front and glue a little bit so it reaches, stays on the side kind of. I'll do it on this side as well. So now our ribbon has come all the way around, and now I'm gonna let that sit while I do the other one, and I'll tie a bow in a minute. Now for the other one, I'm gonna use this ribbon, which has got like little green snowflakes on it. You don't really need a piece of ribbon that's too long. We just need enough to go around it and then to tie in a bow. Glue around the edge. And then put this on top of the glue. Like that. This thing keeps wanting to fall on me, which I don't appreciate. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a second. We'll go ahead and resume our, resume our efforts with this. So, we're gonna tie this in a little bow. I know I'm upside down, but I don't care. I forgot how to tie a bow. Oh no, okay. It's not the best bow. I gotta say, it is not the best. I'm very bad at bows. So, just a little tiny bow. I'm gonna put some hot glue around the knot of the bow because I don't trust it to not come apart. So I think I got hot glue on my hand. Fun fact, I don't feel heat on my hand very well, so sometimes I might get burnt and I won't notice first. So I guess I go ahead and put my hook back on. You'd think that I would stop working with hot things, but it has not had that effect on me. Okay, put our hook on there. Ooh. And there's your little ornament. Nope. I'll show you two later on the tree so you can see without the big ring. And we're gonna tie this one up. It sounded dirty. There we go. That bow turned out a lot better than the other one. And then we're gonna glue around the edges of this bow as well, just to kind of make sure it stays in place. There we have it. The next part might require a little bit of tools, so I'm going to take a dowel and this choppy thing, and I'm gonna cut this up into little sections, which I've already done, so yay. Okay, so for these, what I'm gonna do is basically make like a book spine, like a row of book spines. You can get dowels like really cheap at either like, I don't know, a home improvement store or even craft stores. I think they both have them. So what we can do is either wrap these in paper to have different sort of covers, or I can paint them. So I'm trying to decide myself. I might just paint them. So that way they have different colors. So I'll be back after I've done that because it takes a while and it's annoying to paint on camera, so. Okay, so I have painted all the little doodads here. I painted more than I thought I was gonna paint, so it's fine. I think some of them may have stuck to this. But there they are. And now I have, this is just cut from one of these giant craft stick things. I just cut part of it off, the length of kind of how I wanted my shelf to look. And so what I'm gonna do now is arrange these in the order I want them to be in. Okay. So now I'm gonna glue these down with a hot glue gun. So I'm so excited. Okay, it actually kind of looks like how I wanted it to look. So this is supposed to be like a stack of, or several books like side by side. That's what it's supposed to look like. Which I think it kind of does. And what I'm gonna do just to kind of make it a little bit more is I'm gonna add a piece of yarn. So I just took a piece of yarn and I tied a little knot at the end, and I kind of frayed the edges here. And I'm just gonna add it in, like hanging over like that, so it kind of has a little bit of something to it. So I really just kind of attached it so it was sort of hanging over the middle here. It kind of looked like there was a bookmark. And now I just need to add a string to the back. I just tied a loop in it, and I'm just gonna glue it to the back so that way there's sticks up a little bit. And here is our ornament. For the next one, we're going to take another one of these big craft sticks and we're going to cut a couple of like different sized rectangles out. Those are all the same size. So we're going to do that one, this one, this one. Alright, so I've stacked them, and basically I just named them after like four really good books. And then what I'm gonna do is I've made with pipe cleaners, got just a thing of green pipe cleaners here, is I made a little bookworm to go on top. So if we got our little stack, we're just gonna put our bookworm kind of on top of it like that. So now we have this little ornament, and I'm going to add my string. So there we have it, our little ornament. So there we have it, our little ornament. Once again, I'm going to be using some pages from a book, and you can of course print pages off that look like a book, and if you want them to look yellowed or anything like that, you can just put them in like a pan or like something that has like water and coffee or water and tea in it, and it'll yellow it, make it look older. Something I use in school all the time to make things look like parchment. But what you're going to want is long strips of the book paper here. You're going to need, let's see, 5 total. So first I'm going to glue them all together at the bottom. So and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this a little bit lower. So if you look at it and you fan them out, there should be 5 pieces, obviously. And we're going to work up the 2 pieces closest to the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue it where it's a little bit farther down, there-ish. So we'll do that, and then we'll just bend this down some. And then you want the other one to match it exactly, which is probably the hardest thing about this, is symmetry. Yeah, close enough. And then this one you're gonna do even farther, so it'll look like that. If you want to keep adding, you can. Honestly, there's not like a limit. You can keep going. You can add more if you want. But that's going to be where I stop. And I'm just going to chop off the top right here. So this is my little ornament. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of a string here. I don't have a hole puncher. You can use a string. You can use a whatever it's called, the hooks, the ornament hooks, or I'm just gonna use a pipe cleaner because it's easier to stab through. So I'm just gonna make a tiny little ring with it, and then you can just kind of hang it up like that. Now, if you're able to use thread, I personally prefer it, but I don't have a hole punch, so it's kind of hard to get things through. But it was easier to get the pipe cleaner through. So there's just an ornament. But that is all for my bookish ornament video. Let me know which one of these was your favorite. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to me if you haven't already. And don't forget to let out that breath you didn't know you were holding. Bye!